Welcome to another episode of Forever. I am Biodun
And I'm Tolu
Olusoya.
Olusoya.
It's good to welcome you to another episode of Forever. Today we are going to be talking about differences. People say things, you hear things like people say that irreconcilable differences. I ask yourself, what does that mean? Because in the first place, we are both different. If we are the same, we will not be in a relationship. We will be boring, too boring for that matter. Sometimes I can say my wife, you can be too monotonous, but you need some spice in your relationships. So differences is key in relationship. The reason why we like one another is because we are different, not because we are similar. So one of the major things that make forever enjoyable, that makes us love one another and stick with one another, is when we are different and we enjoy our differences, and that is key. Now we need to understand that we are different. I'm different from her, she's different from me. We need to understand we are different and enjoy the fact that we are different. That's one of the major things that we enjoy difference. Our company together.
Okay, one of the major parts and the major difference is the mere fact that he's a male, I'm a female.
Yeah.
The way a man thinks is way different from a woman thinks.
Yes.
A man could be logical,
Yeah.
but for a woman, you put emotion in everything. So when you are saying the same thing, he is coming from a logical point of view, I'm coming from an emotional point of view. So that is a major difference we have to live with in forever.
One of the things I discovered, and I don't know if most people think about this, one of the things that makes marriage interesting is accepting our differences. We are still going to talk about it when we talk about acceptance, but we are accepting our differences. She said a man is logical, a woman is emotional. And I've discovered for a team, for a marriage, for two people that are in marriage, are in love, for you to make it work, one of the major things you must understand is that our viewpoints matter a great deal when we are taking action. So a logical thinker from an emotional thinker, I have discovered when I put the emotional content, our emotional content into perspective in my logical thinking, it gives me a better balance. So it makes me make more better decisions, more inclusive decisions, and that makes our marriage richer. So we are different, male and female, we are different. The way we see things are different and all that. The second thing is our temperament. We are different. She's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. And it looks like, it's you can go out too much or you can be too much indoors, but those are the balance we need for one another for things to grow. We need the balance of the introvertic and extrovertic for us to create a balance where we will both be introvertic and extrovertic, and it pays up on the long run. Our differences is key.
I remember before we got married, I used to enjoy the mere fact that he talks for both of us. So anytime we go out, I don't like talking at all. So I'll take him that even in talking with my friends, he will engage them very well. So I'll just sit down and be looking at them and be enjoying. But amazingly, with differences, at times it becomes what we like in the first place can over time become annoying. But as I said, we must learn to come to terms with the mere fact that we are different temperament-wise, and we have to look at the good side and enjoy it in our journey in forever.
The other side of it is important is our backgrounds. So we are different. We are raised differently. We may be similar, but there are things that are different in our individual homes and in our backgrounds, where we are from or what we do, things like that. There are components in our background that are very, very different. Now, it's key to understand that differences is to enrich your relationship, not to water it down. It is when you look at it, you get to a point where it becomes an interesting part of your relation when you bring it together. And it's important for you to know that your backgrounds may be different, but it can be one of the things that will spice up your relationship the most, and it's key.
One of the major things about background, let me cite an example again. Growing up, I grew up in a home that my father takes me around. But it comes from a different home. But in marriage, you now have to create a balance between it. That, okay, fine, in this area, this is what I'm used to. So you now come to terms with what can be offered in this particular relationship. Because if you're not asking for too much, that is when you now realize, okay, this difference could be a major issue. But by the time you come to terms with it, that, fine, this is the way I grew up, this is what I'm used to. Okay, what do we have to offer when you are building up this journey now, because it's a new journey into forever, and look at, okay, how can we manage it? How can we accommodate one another? How can we deal with the differences and still be able to enjoy one another in forever?
So, I want you to understand that we are born differently. Personality, individuality, and all that, and our backgrounds is different. Differences is a major key in relationships, in love. But differences is one of the major things that make love the most enjoyable and more fulfilling. The fact that we are different makes us come together. We begin to appreciate the other perspective and enjoy the other perspective. You know what? It makes the relationship good. So the journey into forever, we will be different. But what makes it enjoyable when we accept our differences and choose to enjoy ourselves the way we are, not trying to change the other person. When I choose to understand the person the way he or she is, we go further in life and we enjoy the best of one another.
I want to mention something about changing one another. We must be careful we are not out to change the other person. We must love the other person through their differences. Because there are so many things you don't like in the other party, for instance. Amazingly, there are so many things you two do that the other person might not really be enjoying. But because we are in it together, we must understand that, okay, this person is different in this regard. We love the person through it, and would, over time, we see the person change. Or over time, we see that we adjust to it, because there are some of our differences that we might not like that will be with us all through life. But we must learn and actually build ourselves and actually get ourselves to enjoy it, because there are so many other good side about our partner that we can't afford to concentrate on the 20% and neglect the 80% that is so much and so amazing about the other partner.
I know you've enjoyed what we've discussed, man. Differences is key. And you know what? Join us the next time, because we're talking about another thing. But you know what? Differences meant to be enjoyed at a later time. You may have it and you are enjoying it now, but sooner than later, our differences are meant to be enjoyed, understood and enjoyed, and it's the best for relationships. Thank you.